When Jotaro's mindset blends with Star Platinum's potential for growth, it perfectly redefines what it means to be absolutely invincible. Perhaps only Jotaro would have the guts to challenge a gaming prodigy as a complete noob, learning the ropes on the fly in a high-stakes wager with his very soul on the line. In order to win back Kakyoin's soul, Jotaro chose a baseball game to face off against Darby, which happened to be Darby's absolute specialty. To ensure a fair match, Darby also withdrew Autumn's hand from Jotaro's arm, allowing the two of them to cut loose and compete with everything they had. An absolute battle for souls kicked off right then and there.
Jaggeds versus Red Dragons!
In the first inning, Darby's Atom served as the pitcher, while Jotaro's Star Platinum acted as the batter. However, Star Platinum's swings were either a split second too fast, or a split second too slow, constantly dropping points. Joseph knew something was off the moment he watched, only to realize that Jotaro was stiffly mashing the controller just to practice his swings, looking completely like someone who had never touched a video game in his entire life. Joseph questioned Jotaro, asking if he had really never played this game before. Jotaro calmly stated that knowing the rules of baseball was more than enough for him, and as for the game mechanics, he could just learn while playing.
ふざけるなジョタロウ貴様何を気取ってるのだお前は自分の魂をかけたんだぞもう降りることはできないのだやれやれ
This was a showdown with his soul at stake, yet he treated it as casually as child's play. Standing aside, Darby suspected that this grandfather and grandson duo were putting on an act, faking being amateurs just to lure him into letting his guard down. Darby advised them not to waste their energy. At this very moment, Jotaro had only one thought in his mind, which was to beat Darby to a bloody pulp. The game pressed on, but because the gap in skill between the two sides was simply too overwhelming, Jotaro continued to draw points non-stop, failing to connect with the ball even once, to the point that even Darby began to believe that Jotaro was indeed a total amateur. However, just as Darby was getting ready to take the match easily,
いいだろうもうバッティングの方は
a casual remark from Jotaro instantly struck Darby with absolute shock, and the ball Darby pitched also perfectly validated exactly what Jotaro had just said. Star Platinum smashed the baseball clean out of the park with a single strike, and Jotaro hit a home run on his very first hit. Darby had completely lost his previous composure. What left him utterly stunned was that a complete beginner had mastered the knack of batting after only 8 swings. He finally came to realize why Lord Dio placed such immense importance on Jotaro. Having caught on to the knack, Jotaro built up momentum and hammered home run after home run, directly flipping the score to take the lead. But Darby quickly adjusted his strategy as well, choosing to sub in a high-speed pitcher, while simultaneously giving Jotaro a pitch call in advance, claiming that he would throw a splitter right down the middle next.
ど真ん中へフォークボールを投げる信じるか信じないか
Joseph hurriedly warned Jotaro, telling him that the guy was just trying to mess with his judgment, and not to pay any attention to some pitch call. Following that, Darby threw a fastball right down the middle. At this point, the pitching and batting had already shifted heavily into pure mind games. Darby's pitch prediction forced Jotaro to weigh the possibility of a fastball turning into a splitter. In the end, Jotaro chose to swing for a splitter path, but Darby's pitch was actually just a pure fastball, which consequently caused Jotaro to drop this point. Joseph questioned Jotaro, asking why he chose to believe Darby's pitch prediction. Jotaro explained that Darby had known all along that he would choose to swing at a splitter's trajectory, which was exactly why he threw a fastball. Ever since they stepped into this mansion, Darby seemed capable of seeing right through their innermost thoughts.
バカなすると